Venezuelan rich kept a large slice of the profits. The election of Hugo Chavez ended the deal.
Obviously, Venezuela is important because they're the third largest supplier of petroleum. I would say that Mr. Chavez, and the State Department may say this, probably doesn't have the interests of the United States at heart.
We have been concerned with some of the actions of Venezuelan President Chavez and his understanding of what a democratic system is all about.
Te digo que tratamos aquí de evitar el choque con el imperio, pero era inevitable. Yo fui a Casablanca, le di la mano a Clinton, hasta por teléfono. How are you, Mr. Clinton? How are you, Mr. Chávez? Es decir, nosotros aquí tratamos lo imposible. Hacer una revolución sin chocar con el imperio, imposible.
In Washington and Miami and the country clubs of Caracas, getting rid of Chavez became an obsession. In early 2002, secret plans were laid by the Venezuelan opposition, with the media leading the attack.
¿Usted cree que el presidente de la República está loco?
Va llegando el momento en que todos hablemos de la transición, sin Chávez, por supuesto.
Anti-Chavez protesters took to the streets, their anger inflamed by the media.
Nunca ha venido alguien tan feo y tan malo como esto.
Hugo Satanás Chávez Frías es el anticristo, es el demonio, es el diablo, es diantre, Lucifer.
Él es el único que sobra aquí.
The campaign to overthrow Chavez came to a head on April the 11th, 2002. An anti-Chavez protest march was called in the center of Caracas. What they didn't know was that there were two marches that day. The other one was led by Chavez supporters outside the presidential palace, known as Miraflores. The two rallies were supposed to be kept apart, but then an extraordinary series of events unfolded. Without warning, the opposition marchers were redirected to the presidential palace by one of the organizers.
Y él les dice, bueno, vamos hacia el palacio, vamos a desviar la marcha hacia el palacio de Miraflores.
People tried to stop the march from changing course, but the organizer was having none of it.
Le dice, no, en esta vaina mando yo y tú mandas en tu casa. Esto ya está programado y se va hacia Miraflores.
The opposition marchers were suddenly herded towards government supporters. As they approached the palace, shots rang out. They were being fired upon by snipers, who shot them one by one, many with a bullet to the head. Soon afterwards, these pictures began appearing on anti-government TV, blaming the shooting on Chavez supporters on a city bridge.
Disparaban y apuntando y descargando las armas automáticas. Bueno, eso queda para la historia, pero gracias a Dios que hay estas evidencias. Y apuntando a la gente que pacíficamente estaba ahí abajo. Esto es una salvajada sin nombre. Eso es lo que llaman revolución.
However, as this camera angle reveals, there were no opposition marchers on the street below the bridge. What the TV pictures did not show was this. The people on the bridge are clearly trying to protect themselves, crouching down to avoid the bullets of unknown snipers above them and anti-Chavez police units below them. The people on the bridge were actually defending themselves.
Entonces era como una zona de combate, de control, y que ellos actuaron bien planificado, estaba súper planificado todo eso.
Within hours, these military chiefs appeared on television. They too blamed Chavez and his supporters for the killings.
Venezolanos, el presidente de la República ha traicionado la confianza de su pueblo. Está masacrando a personas inocentes con francotiradores. Para este momento van 6 muertos y decenas de heridos en Caracas. Esto no lo podemos permitir. No podemos aceptar un tirano en la República de Venezuela.
It was all a setup. The CNN correspondent in Caracas, Otto Neustald, later revealed that the generals had recorded their statement before the shooting.
El día 10 en la noche me llaman por teléfono y me dicen la marcha se va hacia el Palacio de Miraflores, va a haber unos muertos y aparecen 20 militares de alto rango pronunciándose en contra del gobierno de Chávez y pidiéndole la renuncia al presidente. En esa prueba ya se habla de muertos cuando todavía no había un solo muerto en la calle y todo sigue como estaba programado.
Soon the presidential palace was surrounded by renegade army officers. Inside, Hugo Chavez was delivered an ultimatum: resign or be bombed. One of his cabinet ministers broke the news.
Políticamente, que quede en evidencia que esto fue un golpe de Estado. No es que él renunció, pues el presidente no renunció.
Okay.
No renunció y entonces va preso, porque es un golpe de Estado.
Okay.
¿Qué?
Que lo sepa el mundo.
Que lo sepa el mundo.
The plotters announced that Chavez had resigned. He hadn't. He was kidnapped. The following morning, an unelected dictator was sworn in. He was a leading businessman called Pedro Carmona.
Eso hicieron una fiesta. Yo vi todo ese programa cuando ellos estaban en tu programa de televisor. Mire, mijo, usted no tiene idea cómo lloré. Como que si se habían muerto mis hijos y mi madre, que son las cosas más sagradas que tengo. En verlos a ellos, como decían, bueno, amaneció de nuevo en Venezuela.
In one amazing proclamation, democracy was demolished, piece by piece.
Se suspende de sus cargos a los diputados principales y suplentes a la Asamblea Nacional. Se destituyen de sus cargos ilegítimamente ocupados al presidente y demás magistrados del Tribunal Supremo de Justicia. Así como al fiscal general de la República, al Contralor General de la República, al Defensor del Pueblo y a los miembros del Consejo Nacional Electoral.
Usted no tiene idea de lo que ese decreto nos hizo. Fue tan fuerte la cuestión, lo que nosotros vivimos en ese momento, porque ya no veíamos al pasado, a la represión, a la lucha por todo.
In the United States, the broadcast media carried the same pictures and the same story used to justify the coup.
The Bush administration made it clear it is happy with the change in leadership in the country responsible for 15% of America's oil imports. Anthony Mason has our report.
In the end, this is what triggered the overthrow of Hugo Chavez. Armed gangs loyal to the Venezuelan president firing on thousands of anti-government protesters. After 16 people were killed and hundreds wounded, last night soldiers surrounded the presidential palace.
At the White House, the spokesman of President Bush rubber-stamped the story.
Let me share with you the administration's thoughts about what's taking place in Venezuela. We know that the action encouraged by the Chavez government provoked this crisis. The Chavez government suppressed peaceful demonstrations, fired on unarmed, peaceful protesters, resulting in 10 killed and 100 wounded. That is what took place, and a transitional civilian government has been installed.
Back in Venezuela, 3 years of modest democratic reform had been overturned.
Afortunadamente tenemos una gran arma, que son los medios de comunicación. Si ustedes, el pueblo venezolano vio hoy, el ejército ni la Fuerza Armada hizo un disparo. Todo esto fue nuestras armas fueron los medios de comunicación.
The plotters and their friends had everything to celebrate. Or so they thought. The next morning, distraught people began phoning one of the independent radio stations still broadcasting.
Que tanto nos ha costado a los venezolanos. Me duele el alma por mi hijo, por mi hija, por los nietos, por toda esta juventud que va a quedar a la deriva de nuevo en las manos de los adecos y los copellanos corruptos que llevaron a este país al caos total, sin moral.
Se fue la esperanza de un pueblo, se fue la Constitución, se fue la democracia, se fue la esperanza de los niños.
But hope had not gone. The truth began to emerge that the resignation of Hugo Chavez had been faked. His wife, Maria, confirmed this in a call to the radio station.
Me dijo, aún después de muerto, quiero que logres que los organismos internacionales le hagan una prueba de grafología a esa firma, si es que existe, porque yo nunca firmé eso.
And the people in the barrios started to fight back. Down from the shanties they came to rescue their president. Surrounded the palace, demanding the return of Chavez. Faced by such people power, the army turned.
Es que, desde el punto de vista militar, toda la Fuerza Armada, el 98% de la Fuerza Armada en todo el país, ha reafirmado, ha reiterado su lealtad a la Constitución vigente en Venezuela, a la Constitución de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Roared on by huge crowds, the Presidential Guard, who had gone into hiding, retook the palace, and the plotters fled.
Los muchachos, los policías militares que estaban dentro de Miraflores, empezaron a levantar la bandera. Eso también nos dio más fuerza todavía a que no estábamos solos. Y ahí nos quedamos hasta que empezó a venir un helicóptero. Venía un helicóptero a medianoche que llegó a Miraflores y ahí sabíamos que venía Chávez. Eso fueron una hora de gloria para nosotros en vez que llegaba.
Just 48 hours after being kidnapped, Chavez was back in power.
Creo que la prueba suprema fue el golpe de Estado de abril 2002. Fui hecho prisionero. Me llevaron. Pensé que iba a morir. Ahora el pueblo venezolano, los pobres, sin armas, se fueron por cientos de miles a las calles, por millones, a pedir por mi vida y a pedir que vuelva Chávez. Entonces a mí no me queda más nada, después de eso sobre todo, que dedicarle todo lo que me quede de vida a ese pueblo, sobre todo a los más necesitados, sobre todo a los más pobres.
As ordinary Venezuelans celebrated the defense of their democracy, some of the leading plotters fled to Miami, and within days it was clear that Washington had cast its shadow over the failed coup. The Bush administration had gone along with the lies of the plotters.
We know that the action encouraged by the Chavez government provoked this crisis.
As these CIA documents show, it was fully warned and knew all about their conspiracy. Washington claims that it warned Chavez about the coup. This is denied by the Venezuelan government. Washington not only knew what was going on, it was backing and funding the coup indirectly. Documents recently released show that the Bush administration channeled millions of dollars to the Venezuelan opposition in the months leading up to the coup. The money was handed out by its principal aid agency, USAID, and an organization called the National Endowment for Democracy.
During the 6-month period prior to the coup in April 2002, the U.S. government invested more than $2 million into financing these organizations that they knew at least 6 months before were planning to overthrow the government.
You're essentially saying post hoc ergo propter hoc, because it happened after.
I don't think our viewers will understand that. If you could translate that.
Just because it happened after we provided support to these groups doesn't mean that it happened because we provided support to these groups. Yeah. It is a logical fallacy. Right. We would be very open and transparent about what kind of support we provided through the National Endowment for Democracy and other institutions.
In fact, the National Endowment for Democracy handed out money to groups whose leaders were given cabinet positions in the short-lived illegal regime. An official in Washington explained that this was merely part of President Bush's freedom agenda.
But I want to just be very explicit about this, because there is, I think it's very important, and it's in the interest of fairness, to understand that the United States did not support that coup.
President Bush has promised to rid the world of evil and to lead the great mission to build free societies on every continent. To understand such an epic lie is to understand history. Hidden history, suppressed history, history that explains why we in the West know a lot about the crimes of others, but almost nothing about our own. The missing word is empire. The existence of an American empire is rarely acknowledged, or it's smothered in displays of jingoism that celebrate war, and an arrogance that says no country has a right to go its own way unless that way coincides with the interests of the United States. For empires have nothing to do with freedom. They're vicious. They're about conquest and theft and control and secrets. Since 1945, the United States has attempted to overthrow 50 governments, many of them democracies. In the process, 30 countries have been attacked and bombed, causing the loss of countless lives. In my lifetime, the following countries in Latin America have been assaulted by the United States, directly and indirectly. Their governments replaced by dictators and other pro-Washington leaders. One of the first to be attacked was Guatemala, one of the small countries of Central America, known dismissively as banana republics.